Yo, what's going on, guys? It's J-Mass, and I'm back again with another dope New England adventure. Guys, I am really excited for today's exploration. So I'm currently in the Assabet River National Wildlife Refuge, and I have to say, first and foremost, this is a wildlife refuge. Most of the people who come here are bird watchers, nature enthusiasts, hikers. I mean, it's a really gorgeous spot with a lot of nature and wildlife here in the woods of central Massachusetts. But the Assabet River National Wildlife Refuge does have some really interesting history, and you can actually see some of the remnants of that history directly behind me. But we'll get into that very shortly. I just want to start off by explaining where I am and what we're going to be doing. So as I mentioned, I'm in the Assabet River National Wildlife Refuge. Now, I'm currently in the town of Sudbury, Massachusetts, but several towns actually make up the territory of this public property. That also includes Stow, Maynard, and Hudson. But I'm currently in Sudbury, Massachusetts. Now, the Assabet River National Wildlife Refuge today is most renowned for its nature and its wildlife. There's a lot of migratory birds that come here. In fact, when I was walking here, I came across a bunch of turkeys wandering around. So you will definitely see a lot of gorgeous wildlife here. You know, deer, turkeys, tons of birds, otters, all that kind of stuff. But what we're going to be focusing on is the history. Now, directly behind me, you'll notice a giant bunker. This was actually built by the United States Army for World War II. So this place that we're in, currently the Assabet River National Wildlife Refuge, was once an ammunition storage depot. It was actually known as the Maynard Ammunition Storage Backup Point. And it held a ton of ammunition that was to be used in the European theater of World War II. Now, this place was founded by the United States Army in 1942, and it had several train links going around the park to all 50 bunkers. That's right, there's 50 bunkers in this park. Now, it was owned by the military for many years, and as I mentioned, there were railroad links going around, bringing ammunition to different parts of the country to be used in Europe. Now, eventually, this was closed down following the end of the war. There were many things that happened here since then. There was a lot of toxic waste that was actually dumped here. This at one point was an EPA Superfund Site in the 1980s, but today it's a public park for all to enjoy with a lot of gorgeous wildlife, and it's been kept very safe ever since. We're going to get more into the details and history and information as we wander around and explore, but all you need to know is that there are 50 bunkers built by the United States Army during World War II scattered around this vast property. I should also mention a lot of these bunkers are actually going to be closed, if not all of them. It's possible some might be open, but I just don't want to get your guys' hopes up. Most of the bunkers will be closed. However, it's still going to be cool to check them out. These are pieces of America's World War II history here in central Massachusetts. So without any further ado, we're going to get right into it. There's a lot to see here. I'm really excited, and again, I'll give you guys more of the history as we wander around. As always, guys, my name is J-Mass. If you love urban exploration, checking out abandoned sites, and exploring New England, I'm always doing that on this channel, so feel free to subscribe. Or you can follow me on Instagram at JMassOfficial. That's at JMassOfficial. But we're going to check out the remnants of the Maynard Ammunition Storage Backup Point here in the Assabet River National Wildlife Refuge in the 4 towns of Sudbury, Hudson, Stow, and I forget the last one. All right, guys, let's get right into it. All right, guys, let's get started and explore the abandoned World War II era bunkers here at the Assabet River National Wildlife Refuge. Now, you'll notice this is actually the bunker I started filming the introduction in front of. This is the front entrance of the bunker right there. But what I want to first direct your attention to is the back. And you'll notice that these bunkers were actually disguised as little hills, mounds of dirt. You can see that on top of the bunker, there's soil, leaves, moss, plants and trees. I mean, these bunkers were disguised as natural hills, as you can see. But the front entrance was left open, and that's because first and foremost, these bunkers were ammunition storage depots. So you would have ammunition being loaded and unloaded into these bunkers. I did mention that there were train links all around this property. They were actually connected to the Massachusetts Central Railroad, and they would load and unload ammunition into all these bunkers, and there's actually 50 bunkers total. I don't think we're going to get to all 50 today, but I am going to try to see as many as I can. So this bunker is unfortunately closed, and that's going to be the case for most of these bunkers, but I still want to show you guys up close what these bunkers kind of look like, and I think we'll use this very first bunker right here as a test subject. So you can see right in front, there's a massive iron door right there. And it really is locked. There's no way to get in. There's a huge lock right there. But this is the massive iron door to the entrance of the World War II era storage bunker. And up here, this is pretty interesting. All of the bunkers are actually numbered. So this is bunker number 303. We're actually not that far away from the Wildlife Refuge's visitor center. So this is the very first bunker you stumble across when you come out from the visitor center. But it's pretty cool. It's, I believe it's made out of concrete, just jutting up out of the woods here in central Massachusetts. I guess if you didn't know anything about the history and you were just walking along these woods as a nature enthusiast or a hiker, this might be a really bizarre, imposing structure because it's just randomly here in the middle of the woods, and there's tons of them. But knowing the history, this place was a military-held site, an ammunition storage depot. Now again, there's many of these. We're going to keep on walking, and as we go along, I'll give you guys more and more of the history, but I did want to start off with this very first bunker. Pretty cool looking. And I will just give you a taste of what the Assabet River National Wildlife Refuge looks like. There are these little trails everywhere. This one, of course, is paved, because at one point I believe this was probably a military service road, but there are a lot of dirt trails. And again, it's a really gorgeous area. I'm actually here in late January. A lot of the snow's already melted, but really beautiful spot. I guess if we see any wildlife, I will show you guys. That'd be pretty cool. But let's keep on going and see what other bunkers we can find. All right, guys, I got a very special treat for you. So we found another one of these abandoned bunkers right here. This one's actually a lot more obscured by trees. The other one we were on was off the side of that trail, that paved trail we were on. This one is right in the middle of the woods. It's a lot more difficult to get to, but we have another abandoned World War II era bunker. But the special treat that I have for you guys is that this one is actually open. That's right, we have an open abandoned bunker. And I just want to be upfront and say I actually knew that going in. A little anonymous birdie told me that one of these bunkers was open, and that is very rare. These things are usually all sealed shut. There's typically no way to get into any of these bunkers, but shockingly, this one is actually open. And you're going to get a rare glimpse of what the inside of these bunkers look like because, again, that's typically not the case. These are usually completely sealed shut and closed. So in a second, I'm going to head inside and show you guys. I actually tried filming another clip where I opened the door, but this door is so damn heavy. Like, I have to have two hands to do it. So I'll jump a cut in a minute inside, but this is bunker 307, not that far away from the other bunker we were just at. So in a second, we're going to head inside bunker 307, see what's going on. But I'm really excited because this is pretty rare. These are usually sealed shut. Yeah, let's see what the inside of this abandoned World War II era storage bunker looks like. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's J-Mass. I just want to apologize, guys. It is very echoey in here. You'll hear there's a very loud ambient echo, so I apologize if that kind of messes with the audio a bit. Hopefully it doesn't make the audio that bad. But anyways, we are getting a very rare glimpse inside bunker 307 right now. This is crazy. I can't believe we did this. So the only two things inside this bunker, you can see right here, there's a pallet jack and there's some sort of wheelie right here, some sort of dolly. So I assume these were actually used by the United States Army to move around ammunition and other storage. And then this, of course, is the bunker itself, bunker 307. And I truly apologize for the less than stellar lighting. It's extremely dark in here, so the lighting isn't the best. It's kind of grainy. So I apologize for the video quality, but this is the bunker. Now you can see that it's actually a bit curved inside. It has sort of a curved roof right here. This is actually the front. That's the door that I came in right there. And this is the very back of the bunker. Now one thing that's kind of interesting, you can actually see right here, you got some painted lines. These are like sort of little lots right here. And what I think is that each lot was used to hold different parts of the U.S. Army's ammunition. So they probably actually used these pallet jacks and dollies to place pallets worth of ammunition, you know, Army surplus, storage, all that kind of stuff, to basically sit here in this bunker for storage until they needed to be used in the European theater of World War II. I mean, keep in mind, this thing was built in 1942, shortly after the U.S.'s involvement in World War II. And as a result, they needed a place to store ammunition to be shipped out to Europe for the fight. And this is one of 50 bunkers in this property that was used to do such that. But it's pretty cool. I do believe these lots were where the pallets of ammunition were held. And this thing is pretty deep. I mean, this is all technically underground. It's actually above ground. It's just covered in dirt and soil, but still, it's really cool to be inside this World War II era storage, this ammunition storage bunker. Very cool. I kind of held off on filming this place for a while because I thought they would all be sealed shut. So the fact that we're inside one is absolutely wild. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys this very rare glimpse of the inside of Bunker 307 here in the Assabet River National Wildlife Refuge, formerly the Maynard Ammunition Storage Backup Point. And I actually opened up the door a bit, so I'll show you outside. And here we are back outside in the middle of the woods in central Massachusetts. You got the front of this bunker. Crazy stuff. I can't believe we got in there. All right, guys, so we got another one of these abandoned World War II era bunkers coming up. And let's play a little game. I'm going to zoom out, and I want to see if you guys can guess where this bunker is. I'll give you 5 seconds. So, do you think that the bunker could be A, this flat forest floor right here, or B, this unnatural hill covered in soil and trees? I think it might be B right there. Yes, this is another one of these bunkers, and you know, they were obviously meant to be disguised like this as hills, but when you know there's a bunker there, I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's so unnaturally shaped, especially when you have 50 of these weird mounds just, you know, covering the forest floor here. But I did just want to show you guys a exterior view of when you're walking along the trails and you just stumble across these really unique pieces of history. But the other thing I want to show you guys is something we haven't actually looked at yet. So all 50 of these bunkers are actually pretty similar in look and feel, which is why I'm not going to film all 50. But some of these actually have these things called ventilation ports. Now I'm going to actually climb up the side of this bunker to show you what I mean. We have to go to the very top. Now, basically, these ventilation ports were used for ventilation, you know, to basically keep the inside cool, to let out gases, basically to keep the inside breathable and cool. And this is one of the ventilation ports right here. This is actually the very back end of the bunker. Check this out. This is one of the bunker's ventilation ports. And we might actually be able to peer inside here. Covered in dirt. Pretty interesting. But yeah, this is one of the ventilation ports of these Maynard Ammunition Storage Backup Point bunkers. Pretty cool right here. And really briefly, I will just show you guys the front end of the bunker. You can see what it looks like from the top. And bear in mind, we are currently walking on top of one of these bunkers right here. You can see the curved slopes of this man-made hill. Kind of cool. Yeah, this is the front end of the bunker. So the ventilation port was on the very back end right over there. And this is the very front end. Let's see what it looks like from the top. Wow. Yeah, this is the front of the bunker. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I just want to show you guys a ventilation port and the top of this bunker. It is really cool. I sort of like it from the top. It's really unique. It feels like you're on a natural hill, but at the same time, it's so ridiculously unnatural. Yeah, really cool. And this right here is the front end of the bunker we just saw. This is actually the one we were just on top of, where I showed you guys the ventilation port. This is that same bunker right here. Now, I don't actually see a number on this one, which is kind of weird. I feel like all the bunkers we've seen so far have had numbers. Strange. I don't see a number in this one. But nonetheless, this is another one of these World War II era bunkers, although this one is completely sealed shut, just like the first one we were at. But still really cool. I really love the look of these things. You know, they're so, like, mysterious. I feel like if you were just a hiker or a nature enthusiast who just wasn't really into history or didn't really know the history of this area, you know, running into one of these things completely at a whim must be so weird. Just coming across 50 of these in the middle of the woods. So strange. All right, guys, we got another one of these abandoned bunkers right here. And this one is very similar to the first one we saw, you know, the one I filmed the introduction at, because we have another walkway going right up to it. And this one is actually also numbered Bunker 309. So that leads me to believe that the bunker we were just at right over there is Bunker 308, because the bunker we went inside over there was 307. So it might be 307, 308, and then Bunker 309 right here. Again, though, this one is closed, and I think the remainder of the bunkers on this premises are going to be closed. I don't think we're going to get into any more, which is a bit of a shame, but still really cool. I just really love the look of these things. They really are such unique structures and just a really fascinating piece of America's wartime history. And that kind of leads me into my next point. You know, why did this place close, or when did it close? Well, after many years of military service, the site was closed down by the United States Army and handed over to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in the year 2000. And 5 years later, in 2005, it was actually opened up to the public. And it's been like that ever since. So this is a public property. Anyone can come here. Anyone can explore these bunkers. Completely open to the public, which I love. And I find that's the case with a lot of abandoned military remnants. A lot of forts that I've been to are actually public. Same with these bunkers. And again, as I've wandered around, I've seen a lot of other people, you know, bird watchers, nature lovers. And as they walk around, they'll just walk by these strange pieces of World War II history, just dotting the landscape. But this place closed down in 2000 and reopened to the public as a wildlife sanctuary in 2005. So some of you guys might be wondering yourselves, you know, JMass, if World War II ended in 1945, and the U.S. Army held on to the site until they gave it away to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in the year 2000, well, then what were they doing with it for the next 55 years, you know, in that time period? Well, it was actually used from the end of World War II up until 2000 as an Army reservist training center. It was actually known as the Sudbury Annex at Fort Devens. And if you don't know, Fort Devens was a major military base in nearby Ayer, Massachusetts. So Fort Devens actually operated a reservist training center here in the towns of Sudbury, Hudson, Stow, and Maynard in this military site. So even though it was no longer being used as an ammunition storage depot, it was then used as a training site for Army reservists. And actually, as recently as 1991, the site was used to train Army reservists for the upcoming Gulf War, Operation Desert Storm. So this still did have many years of military use, just mostly as sort of a training base camp for local Army reservists in the area. And you can actually see we got another bunker right behind me. This one, Bunker 302. So this is Bunker 302. Again, also closed, but pretty cool. You just stumble across these. I mean, I'm just walking down a random trail, got another bunker behind me. But another thing that's important to note about this place is that it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Because in 1985, there was a major oil spill here. But actually, I should preface that. Prior to 1985, as early as the 1950s, the U.S. Army actually began to dump a lot of poisons and stuff here, a lot of poisons, toxic waste. And then in 1985, to top it all off with those years of dumping toxic waste here, there was then a massive oil spill. And all of that just got so bad because there was so much contamination that the EPA actually designated this a Superfund Site in 1989, and it was noted as a national priority. And you guys, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know I've actually been to quite a few EPA designated Superfund sites on this channel. They're very dangerous, very hazardous, and at one point, this site was an EPA Superfund site. Now, after it was designated as a national priority by the EPA in 1989, there was a major effort to clean this place up. I believe it was a 9-year cleanup. And after those 9 years ended, you know, it became a wildlife refuge and was clean and ready to use again. So today it's actually a pretty safe place, really gorgeous spot with a lot of scenery, used for nature enthusiasts and wildlife. But there was actually a long period of time where this was a really dangerous and hazardous site with a lot of contaminants, poisonous, hazardous materials everywhere. So bad that it was literally a national priority by the Environmental Protection Agency and designated a Superfund site. Really interesting interim history between World War II and its closure in 2000. So really quick, guys, I just want to show you something pretty cool. So if we actually head to the left, we're going to be heading down what is known as the Tri-Town Trail. So this is the Tri-Town Trail right here. And you might be wondering, why is it called the Tri-Town Trail? Well, keep in mind, I did say earlier that the Assabet River National Wildlife Refuge is actually made up of 4 towns: Hudson, Sudbury, Stow, and Maynard. And this very spot right here is actually a tri-town point. This is where 3 of those 4 towns actually meet. And this dot right there, this very dot, is the exact point where those 3 towns meet. So this spot right here is the town of Sudbury. This spot right here is the town of Stow. And this spot over here is the town of Maynard. So you have 3 Massachusetts towns right here meeting in this central point. Now, I'm personally a bit of a geography nerd. I love borders and stuff. So anytime I find something like that, I'm a massive fan. But yeah, pretty cool. And actually, if we stand right in the middle, we're currently in 3 Massachusetts towns at once. I don't know. I love stuff like that. Pretty cool. All right, guys, so I think I'm going to be heading out pretty soon, but I do just want to show you a couple more of these abandoned World War II era bunkers before I leave. So we got another one right here. This is right off the Tri-Town Trail that I was just walking down. And I'm not sure if this one is numbered. Actually, doesn't look like it. Yeah, I guess this one also doesn't have a number. Strange, but yes, right here is another ammunition storage bunker right here. Very similar to what we've been seeing. Just another completely sealed shut steel door. Although one thing I did notice that's kind of weird is some of these bunkers actually have like little dirt pathways going up, and then others just have these concrete stairs. It's strange. But yeah, here's another one of these bunkers. Really cool looking. I really do like these. And I figured for one more time we would actually go on top and check out the ventilation port, because I want to see if all these ventilation ports are like identical or if they're different. I'm sure they're all very similar, but I'm just kind of interested. So I think what we're going to actually do is go up onto the slope of this bunker. We're going to actually walk up right there and see if this has an identical ventilation port to the first one we saw, or if it's different. I don't know. I'm just very interested. So let's hike up here, and sorry if I start getting a little out of breath. I think I was doing that last time. This is actually very steep. It might not look it, but it's very steep to walk up. Okay, this is the top of the bunker. Oh, some weird metal cable right there. Actually not sure what that is. I haven't seen that in anything. See that, guys? Very weird. I don't know what this metal cable's for. Huh. But yeah, this right over here is one of the ventilation ports for this bunker. Let's check it out, see what's going on. Yep, right here we got another ventilation port. This one actually we might be able to peer inside. Yeah, just covered in leaves and soil, sort of like the last one. I wasn't sure if we'd actually be able to see the inside of the bunker. I guess not. But to be fair, this thing has been sitting here for like decades, well over half a century. So I'm sure it's not in its prime shape right now. Yeah. I don't know, I just wanted to look at that again, another one of those ventilation ports. And I also got to say too, like when you're standing on top of these bunkers, you get some stellar views. This is the Assabet River National Wildlife Refuge. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at all of this natural beauty and scenery. Really cool. All right, I'm gonna head back down, see if I can find any more interesting looking bunkers, and then I think we're gonna actually head out. All right, guys, I think this is going to be the last bunker we check out today. And bear in mind, there are 50 total bunkers scattered across 4 towns. So there's a lot to see here. You could really spend all day exploring this area and seeing all the bunkers. Unfortunately, I just don't have that time today. And most of these bunkers, if not all of them, other than that one we got lucky with, are completely sealed shut and locked. But I did just want to show you guys one more. This is bunker 305 right here. I'm trying to find a way to go up to it. There's a lot of overgrowth here. But yeah, this is bunker 305 right here. The last bunker we'll be checking out today. And again, it has some of those concrete stairs you can walk up, the iron door sealed shut, and the concrete entrance.
Such a shame. I really wish we could go inside these. I did think that first one was a lot of fun to go inside and explore. And I also wonder if any of these still have stuff inside them. You know, like if there's anything in them, if they're completely empty. Let me in! Yeah, so this is the last bunker we're going to be checking out today. Bunker 305, used during World War II as an ammunition storage depot. The Maynard ammunition storage backup point. Yeah, pretty cool. It was a lot of fun exploring these. I really had a good time. But I think we're going to end it here, guys, and do the outro, and then I'm going to walk back. But also just an absolutely gorgeous spot. If you love hiking and wildlife and nature, even if you're not into history, this is just a gorgeous place to walk around. I would highly recommend it because the Assabet River National Wildlife Refuge is huge. You really could spend all day here.
Hey, thank you guys for joining me. I've been J-Mass as always, and this has been another dope New England adventure. That was a lot of fun, guys. This was actually an abandoned spot that I've wanted to film at for years. This is like one of the very first abandoned spots I've ever heard of. And I've actually never been here, surprisingly. This was my first time exploring it. So I'm glad I finally got to come here after all these years of knowing about this place. And I sort of held off for so long because I wasn't actually sure if you could enter the bunkers. I always heard people saying they're all closed, they're all sealed shut. So when I actually heard from an anonymous source that one of the bunkers was open, I knew I had to get over here and check them out. And I'm glad I did because that was a lot of fun. And it was a lot of fun experiencing this unique and fascinating piece of American history that often gets forgotten. So as I mentioned, this, although it's located today in the Assabet River National Wildlife Refuge, it was once the Maynard ammunition storage backup point. And it was a ammunition storage depot. It had train lines everywhere, you know, unloading and loading ammunition to be brought over to Europe for the war effort. Now, this place operated from 1942 to 1945 as the ammunition depot. After that, it actually became a Army reservist training center, the Sudbury annex of Fort Devens. And it operated as a training center for decades. Of course, during that time, there were a lot of environmental casualties. There was a lot of hazardous waste and chemicals being poured here. There was unfortunately that oil spill in 1985, and then in 1989 the Environmental Protection Agency designated this a Superfund site that was a national priority. They spent about 9 years cleaning this place up, and in 2000 the United States Army sold it to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. And ever since 2005 this place has been completely open to the public. Anyone can come here, anyone can explore. And that's what I love about this place most. I really love public abandoned spots. And actually we have another bunker right here. I guess this is going to be our very last bunker. What is this? Bunker 308. This is bunker 308. And I think bunker 308 is where we're going to end off the video. I mean, pretty crazy stuff. I imagine this place, like when it was active, an ammunition depot site. They probably had so many military servicemen and trains and everything, tons of ammunition. I mean, World War II was huge, and when the U.S. entered, it really began to warm up quite a bit. So I can only imagine how hectic this place was during those next 3 years. But anyways, guys, I've been J-Mass as always. If you love urban exploration, checking out abandoned sites, and exploring New England, I'm always doing that on this channel. Or you can follow me on Instagram at @JMassOfficial. That's at @JMassOfficial. But I've been J-Mass as always. This has been the abandoned World War II era bunkers at the Assabet River National Wildlife Refuge here in the towns of Sudbury, Maynard, Hudson, and Stow. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.